On Thursday night, I saw Disclosure Day, directed by the man himself, Steven Spielberg, the greatest of all time. Probably, maybe. We'll get to that later. But I'm doing this now because I've been lazy. There's been a lot going on. We got the freaking World Cup. The finals just finished. Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot of crap going on in the world, and I've been lazy doing this review. So here we are. It's Sunday morning, talking about Disclosure Day, starring Emily Blunt, Josh O'Connor, and Coleman Domingo. This movie is about a government whistleblower played by O'Connor who comes into possession of hard evidence of aliens existing. He's got video, he's got concrete proof, and he wants to get it out to everyone. He wants to put it out to everyone in the world at once. And then, meanwhile, Emily Blunt plays a weather person who... We don't know much about her from the trailer or anything, but just that she makes alien clicking noises while on a news broadcast, so who knows what's going on with her. Again, Spielberg is one of, if not the best ever, and he's coming off of... The guy's been throwing heat the last few years. Sure, he had his 2010s where we had The Big Friendly Giant and Tintin and Ready Player One and other solid movies, but his last two movies, West Side Story and then especially The Fabelmans, two of the best movies of their respective years and two of Spielberg's best. I think The Fabelmans especially is top 5. It's tough to... Any sort of top 5, top 10 Spielberg list, you could literally just shuffle them up. You could randomize the movies that you put in there, and the order would probably be fine. That's how damn good he is. So I was fired up for this movie, obviously, and it's not just being on the hook, it's trusting in one of the all-time greats who is still at the height, another height of his powers. He's hit a second, third prime, whatever you want to call it. He's like Tom Brady on the Bucks. And this is an alien movie. This movie's about aliens. And there's nobody who can do aliens better than Steven Spielberg. But fun little tangent, when this movie was announced, it was whatever website, Variety, Hollywood Reporter, but the weekly article is called The Dish. So the headline was The Dish. Because they talk about movies, they're dishing. But it says The Dish, Steven Spielberg, like returning to alien genre or whatever it was, like announcing his new movie. So people were like, oh, his new movie called The Dish. And people kind of ran with it, and honestly, I did too. I was aware that it was just the article, but I think The Dish was a cool name for an alien movie. I mean, it's simple. It draws people in. I do think it's a better name than Disclosure Day, but whatever. I just thought it was a fun story. The reviews started to come in, and the reviews were really good, but they weren't, like, great. We know great reviews when movies when people are loving a movie, like, I mean, obviously Obsession, and then like Project Hail Mary and One Battle After Another, Sinners, just movies that everyone who's seen it as it's coming out are like, this thing is great, like, you gotta see it. People like this movie a lot. There's a lot of Spielberg is still incredible. He's still at the top of his game. But some people were dinking the story, and a good amount of people just didn't really like it. Like, it had like 80% drop down to 75% on Rotten Tomatoes, which... Again, that's not the end-all, be-all, but worth mentioning, worth noting. And that didn't kill my excitement at all, but it gave me a shot of reality. Because I was like, all right, it's a Spielberg alien movie. I can't just be going into this thinking we're going to get an all-time great. It's unfair to do that even with a guy like Spielberg, Scorsese, any of these folks. Any of these all-time greats. Going into a movie being like, here we go, we're getting an all-timer, kind of is unfair because it just holds movies up to a different bar. When you see another movie that you're like, hey, I hope this is good, and then it's great, you're like, whoa! But then when you're seeing a movie thinking, here we go, here's an all-timer, and then it's just really good, you're still left a little, huh. But that gave me a jump shot of reality where I was like, it's not a shoe-in. It's still a freaking movie. It could go either way. So that gave me, because I was all in. I was drinking the Kool-Aid. And this was one of those movies I feel like I should have been able to see early. I feel like they used to do this. Maybe they don't anymore. Maybe that was just like, it's something that studios just went against. Like, they did it with Dune. They did it with like Spider-Man. I think they do the new one, but it's like an Amazon thing, and Superman. Again, it's an Amazon thing, but they used to do like Monday before it came out, there would be like one, like in Boston, they would show it, or Randolph at the IMAX. They would show these big blockbusters early, and it would sell out fast, but I was hoping I was going to be able to see The Dish before Thursday, but I saw it Thursday. We've been rambling for too long, folks, and let's talk about did I just call it The Dish? I have it in front of me in the paper. Disclosure Day. Let's talk Disclosure Day. Spoiler free here. We'll get into more of the details as we go on. I'm not going to go so far as to say how Josh O'Connor's character dies and at what point, but I mean I'll give warnings as we go on. This movie's great. I did love it. It is a kind of a romp. It's just a blast. It's a really good time. I can see how people, I think they're wrong, but I can see how people are crossing their arms at it. But it is just a great, great movie. I think Spielberg is doing stuff with the camera that even in The Fabelmans and West Side Story, it's just like he's hitting like the guy's still getting better. He's doing some unbelievable stuff. There's one scene especially where there's probably a dozen scenes where he does a movement with the camera or the blocking or whatever. And something just happens, and it's not even anything within the plot. Just the way that the scene is put together by Spielberg. You're just there like, oh. And I mean, that's only when you're watching something great. Like, one battle after another, there's plenty of scenes, like especially during that hill scene where you're just like, oh man, PTA, man. You're doing tricks on it for the guy. Like Ryan Coogler with Sinners, the people love the big music scene. There's just so many scenes, so many little spots in this movie where you're like, oh my God, Spielberg, you dirty dog. I cannot believe you're still throwing this kind of heat. I loved it. I really did love it. I'm excited to see. This is a movie that I will see probably 3-4 times in theaters. The nicks on it, the complaints, Josh, like the characters are what they are. You don't really care about the characters, like emotionally. You're not connected to them at all. You don't really know. It's just they're very simply like they're the good guys, and then the bad guy's just like he's the evil bad guy. But I liked it. I could see how people wouldn't like Colin Firth's character because he's kind of James Bondy, Mission Impossible-y, where the movie itself isn't like our heroes are not doing these insane action stunts and beating up bad guys. Well, not entirely. Where was I? But yeah, the villain is a little silly and a little ridiculous and kind of cartoony, but I think it's actually awesome because I was having a good time with it every time. He was just so evil. And he felt like he's one of those evil guys where you're just like, how are we going to beat this guy? How the hell are we going to take this guy down? He's so evil and he's so powerful. I loved it. Where are we here? And yeah, O'Connor and Blunt's characters, it's very simple, just like good guys. But Emily Blunt especially is great. She's the standout. I love Josh O'Connor, but we'll go back to Blunt in a second. Josh O'Connor's kind of a drip, his character in this movie. He's still great, because if you're going to get someone to play a drip, I think he's a good guy. It's very low energy, I should say, understated. It's a lot of like, I'm Josh O'Connor and I just want to show everyone all the aliens. I'm the good guy. I kind of sound like I don't like the movie, but no, he's good. He's incredibly likable, and that's kind of just what you want. And charming, that's kind of what you want for this role. You want a guy who's just super likable. Emily Blunt, she's great. She's often just playing, maybe I'm just thinking of the Smashing, I'm just thinking of the Smashing Machine and Oppenheimer, which came out and had awards buzz these last few years, where she's just kind of playing like the wife that has a mind, that actually, believe it or not, has a mind of her own. But in this movie, she's like the protagonist and like the main character, and I feel like we haven't seen, I mean, maybe Jungle Cruise, I never saw it, believe it or not, but this is like an Emily Blunt project. Quiet Place 2, but that's a very certain kind of performance. It's a very quiet performance. Classic stuff right there. But I was excited to see, to really see her in like a lead role like this, and I thought she knocked it out of the park. I thought she was great. Speaking different languages at times out of nowhere, going in and out of it. It was very funny at times. And her boyfriend in the movie, Wyatt Russell. Great to see Wyatt Russell. Love Wyatt Russell. How did I not know Wyatt Russell was in this movie? I think I was just so in it on the movie, I never like looked into it at all, any of the details. I knew it was Firth, Blunt, Domingo, O'Connor. I think that's all I knew. But I did not know Wyatt Russell was like 5th, maybe 6th built. Awesome. He plays like an assholey boyfriend. And from his perspective, it's one of those things where he's a complete asshole from the audience's perspective. But if you put yourself in this guy's shoes, and I saw him explaining it in an interview, this woman's losing her mind. Like, details later on, but he has no reason to just blindly trust her. He should, by all accounts, be trying to get her as much help as he can. And he's I think I'd have to see it again, but I feel like he's kind of just doing the right thing from his perspective. Uh, where are we here? Yeah, it's just an all-out chase movie, and it just keeps going and going and going. There's lulls at times, but the fact that it's just, I saw a lot of people calling this a chase movie, which is very simple, where it's just the good guys are on the run and the bad guys want to catch them. Love it. Simple. It's very simple. This movie is very simple, and it almost, like, yeah, it should have more mass appeal than any of his previous or most recent movies. Like, I feel like kids would like this movie, or younger audiences. They won't see it because it wasn't directed by a YouTuber and it doesn't star the girl from Riverdale or anything. But this is a movie that should appeal to like all audiences. It really is just great. The score is incredible. John Williams is, I mean, he was incredible for The Fabelmans, and he's still, just like Spielberg, he's still throwing heat. But on this one, doing the score for just a classic blockbuster for the first time in years, and it's awesome. I've been listening to it. It's really good. There's a lot of moments where the score, again, it's like where you're just like, whew. John Williams, man, we're lucky to have him. He's kind of a cheat code for Spielberg, where all of his movies just automatically have a perfect score because John Williams only does his movies, which is awesome, and we got to cherish it as long as we can. I was thinking that a lot during this movie. The guy is 78 years old, maybe 79 years old, Steven Spielberg, and he's still getting better in certain areas and doing such interesting movies, and you're just not getting that, like, from a lot of other people at his age. Like, you look at Ridley Scott, who's completely fallen off the map. Even James Cameron's hit a bit of a wall with and he's caught in the Avatar, but he's kind of hit a wall there. Tarantino, who I guess was one of Spielberg's, not peers, but he's 20 years younger, but the guy's completely retired because he's terrified of his own shadow. Coppola's 8 years older, but I mean, that guy's lost his mind. Spielberg's just still consistently, the last 5 years, the guy's put out 3 heaters. The guy is awesome. Back to Disclosure Day. Are we going to get more into spoilery land? Yeah, I mean, no one else does aliens like this, really. I mean, yeah, let's get into the spoilers here. So if you don't want to know anything, get out, I guess, if you want to know nothing at all. But I mean, we're going to get more into the plot here. I don't even know what I'm actually going to say. Emily Blunt's powers. I actually thought it was cool. I thought that it could have been lame, and there was even like a few times where I was like, this is kind of lame. Where she just like has these powers, like, and you're just like, oh, she's like, I just thought it was cool. I was like, all right, I liked it. I was going to say I messed with it. I rocked with it. I fucked with it. How lame is that? How lame is that? But yeah, I thought it was cool. Yeah, the movie is silly. It dives into the absurd with the plot and with like the device, like the power device and the telekinesis from Colin Firth's character with him like putting himself in the room. It's a little bit silly with that at times, and it can be ridiculous. And I can see how people would like dink the movie there. I don't dink the movie there because I like the whole thing. I like the whole package. I think that's part of the tomfoolery of the movie. I say that lovingly. It's part of the fun. But I can see how people are like, that's stupid and that's ridiculous. And I do say you're an asshole if you think that, but you have a right to be an asshole. I'm an asshole. I have a Babylon poster behind me. The aliens, like the actual alien stuff, the evidence, that's the best part of the movie when they're actually like showing you the aliens. I think that stuff is so cool. Like I said earlier, no one's doing aliens like Spielberg. No one alive. And the actual shots, like the archival footage of the aliens, is just goosebumps. It really is. You're like standing up in your seat almost. I'm sitting all the way up there like as much as I possibly can in that theater. And there's these 2 old ladies that were sitting a few rows in front of me, and they had a little like, oh, ooh. There was a point where I was close to a shh early on in the movie, but they toned it down. Old ladies, I'll be more prone to not shush. Because, I mean, what am I, a friggin' asshole? And yeah, there's great perspective on, like, with the alien stuff. Like, with, like, that first, is it the first or second shot of the aliens we see? It might be the second bit of evidence when it shows the scientists, like, doing, like, lab tests on, like, the baby alien. That's like a internet celebrity baby alien. I don't know. I don't want to get sidetracked there. But on the baby alien, it's like pretty. It's like, oh, it's sad. It makes you feel bad for these guys. You never would expect, like, no. I feel like a lot of these movies you don't. Well, BT. In a lot of these movies, you don't think of like feeling bad for the aliens. It's just like, oh, aliens are scary, but like they are living creatures. Like if they're real, they are people. If we think of them as these intelligent, scary beings, then they also like have like emotions and feelings and stuff like that. And I think this does a great job with that stuff. And then the way at the end, I mean, the way it's all presented, I don't want to give away too much specifics, except I pretty much am. The way it's presented, what else do I want to hit on before? There's a lot of just like holy shit stuff. It really is. And that's, like I said earlier with Spielberg, there's a lot of stuff where you're like, oh man, Spielberg. But like even the story, there's a lot of like, whoa, like that was awesome. Like this is crazy. And sure, it can be stupid, it can fly into the absurd, but it's part of the whole ride, and I think it's a damn good ride. And that whole last sequence is incredible. I think that's some of the best stuff. I saw a tweet the other day where someone was saying like you can't movies. I don't know what the basis was. Like movies aren't set in the modern day as much anymore because you can't film good cell phone scenes. Like iPhones look terrible on in movies, and for the most part they are annoying, and they can be like a lot of plot problems could just be solved. Like why did they just text each other and like or call each other on their smartphones, especially in like slashers and stuff. But yeah, smartphones and iPhones can look so ugly in movies nowadays, but the sequence at the end, I don't want to give away how exactly it goes down, but it is just breathtaking. It's like chills, really was. It was awesome. It's one of the best shots of the year. I think this is, I don't know how long I'll have Nirvana as my number one movie of the year. I've been thinking that for a while. I think it still is. I do think it's just wheelhouse city, and the more I watch the show, the more I love it. The more time I spend with these guys. We're not gonna make this a Nirvana thing, but this is at least my number 2 movie of the year. Disclosure Day. But that whole, all the evidence they show, all like the alien stuff, the archival stuff, they really they show a lot of it at the end, and it is great. It would have been hacky. It would have been very hacky, but I was hoping to see archival footage of Richard Dreyfuss from Close Encounters. I thought that would have been awesome. I didn't want to see E.T. I was like ready to roll my eyes if they showed E.T., but if they showed like shots from the end of the Close Encounters with the aliens and like Dreyfuss walking in to the ship, or Dreyfuss just like meeting, like looking at the aliens, even from a distance, I thought that would have been cool. It would have been a little hacky, but this movie was a little hacky at times, a little, yeah, like where it's a little ridiculous. I think it would have been fun to have that, but I can understand not doing it. I can understand why people would have hated that. You really don't need to do the whole, oh my god, every Spielberg movie's actually connected. Whoa, like the Pixar theory. When I was a boy, I thought that was the craziest thing in the world. Like, oh my god, every Pixar movie might actually be connected in the same universe. And it's not just the animators doing fun little cameos in the background for dorks like me. So dorks like me when I was 13 would look into it online. Wrapping things up, I can see how this movie isn't entirely for everyone, but I feel like it's very much for 95% of people. And I think the 5% that aren't into it, I think this movie does kind of fly into the asshole test, where if you don't like it, you're kind of an asshole. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I can see people not loving. The last Mission Impossible movie, the last 2 of them, I can see people poking plenty of holes. Babylon as well. Top Gun Maverick, I can see, but that's a little bit, these are always the examples, I just go to ones behind me. Top Gun Maverick's a little bit of, if you don't like it, you're kind of an asshole. Like, you're kind of just being a prick. And Dazed and Confused, I think you're also just a loser if you don't like that. More movies like this, I think Trap is a big one. If you don't like Trap at all, I think you're just a screaming loser. Like, you're just like, people should be putting kick me signs on your back. Like, lighten up. And Disclosure Day is kind of one of those asshole test movies where if you don't like it, bit of a prick, you're a bit of an asshole. You don't have to love it. You don't have to say it's one of the greatest movies of the year. You don't have to go on and on and on about it. You don't have to go see it 2 or 3 times in the theaters, but if you don't like it, I think you're kind of an asshole. It's just great Spielberg. It is classic Spielberg. He hits you with that very 80s feeling stuff from him. It's like, yeah, it's the stuff that made him one of the biggest directors, one of the most known directors of all time. And this just felt like a return to that kind of stuff. West Side Story and The Fabelmans were great, incredible, but that's him remaking a musical, like his favorite movie ever, and then like a biographical movie, like a movie based on his family. So those are not mass appeal, blockbuster, fun time movies at all. West Side Story, I mean, it came out over Christmas, but it was a blast at times. It's a great, incredible movie, as is The Fablemans. I've talked about them because I love them so much. And this movie is not as good as those two, but it's just more fun, and it's nice to see Spielberg doing this kind of thing again. It really is. He's supposed to be doing a Western next, and if his Western leans into more of the series, I would prefer that. If it's like, I mean, but if it's kind of more popcorny like this, and it's more mass appealy, I'm there all the way, because it's going to be unbelievable. There's a train sequence in this. There's a little train sequence in Disclosure Day. I keep almost calling it The Dish, because literally in the center of my sheet, in quotes, it says The Dish. Like, bigger than almost anything else. I don't know why I wrote it that big. But there's a sequence in this movie that, with a train, where it's like, oh man, this guy's going to go wild with that Western. That's going to be... Like I said earlier, I was so excited. I was going into this like we could be walking into one of the all-time greats, and then when the reviews started to come out, I got hit in the face with the reality, which is not terrible anyway. With the Cowboy movie, even though it hasn't even been confirmed, I'm all the way already 100% convinced that's going to be like the greatest piece of any work of any genre, the greatest film, the greatest piece of literature, the greatest piece of art that any of us have ever seen. I'm so fired up for that movie. He's the greatest. He's still just one of maybe even the best directors working. And there's not... How many guys can you say that was true in 50 years apart? At two different times you could say he was the best director. Has that ever happened? I don't know. Maybe. No, I feel like it probably hasn't. I'm just guessing. Anyways, folks, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Got to get the editing back. I keep seeing these movies spur of the moment. I don't want to send it over last minute, but yeah.